Hey, welcome back, Skyhawk fans. Hey, first of all, thank you so much for last week's viewership. That was amazing. How many people checked that video out featuring Liz, and I'm hopeful that here on out we can have similar types of viewership. But if not, that's okay. We're not really looking to break any records or anything, but we certainly appreciate you taking a look at that last week, because I think we were at 115, I think, after one day, and that was great. And but this week we're on to a new one, and we are all the way up to number 2 all time, and we've got a really great player to feature today. She scored some wonderful goals for us, had a great career for us, and we've stayed in touch since she's finished her playing days and graduated from Point. And but yeah, so we're all the way up to number 2. So thank you for joining us and making it this far with us. We are almost there to number 1, but we've got this one and then a final one next week, and we will reveal those as we go. Stick around for this video all the way to the end. We do have a special guest again. It is not AB, I can promise you that, because she did not play with this player, but we do have someone that did play with her, and she had a nice few good words to say about our featured player today. So without further ado, let's get on with it.
Let's look at a recap from previous weeks. Coming in at number 22 in a tie at that spot, Christabel Rengel with 9 goals and Erin Elmore with 9 goals scored. Again, these two tied at number 22. Three-way tie at number 19 between Dawn Mulkey, Danielle Ellis, and Sierra Benz, all with 10 goals scored. Coming in at number 18, Vanessa Stewart with 11 goals scored. We have a three-way tie at number 15 between Ashley Ventura, Brandy Schock, and Vanessa Lara, all with 12 goals scored. We have a four-way tie at number 11 between Renee Delbont, Kara Bannister, Jessica Torres, and current player Carrie Bonilla, all with 13 goals scored. Coming in number 10, Jasmine Marquez with 14 goals scored. Coming in at number 9, Sam Chan with 18 goals scored. Coming in at number 8, Kelly Everett with 22 goals scored. Coming in at number 7, current player Kelly Carlisle with 23 goals scored. At number 6, Sabria Marquez with 25 goals scored. Two-way tie at number 4 with 31 goals scored are Wendy Mendoza and Neri Martinez. And as we saw last week, at number 3 all-time, Liz Raleigh with 33 goals scored, which brings us to number 2, Sally Ruiz with 35 goals scored for her career. Sally played for the Skyhawks between 2014 and 2016. She was a leading scorer for Point all 3 seasons that she played for us. She was named AAC All-Conference second team in 2014 and 2015. Also in 2014, she was named NCCA Division I All-Region team for 14 and 15, an honorable mention CC All-American and All-Tournament in 14. And then in 16, AAC All-Conference first team, selected NAIA All-Region team, AAC Player of the Year, and NAIA honorable mention All-American. So here's a few of her goals. This first one happened at Bluefield, and you can see Mary skating past some people going up on the left side and giving the ball to Alondra, and then Sally put a little spin move on it and then just beats the keeper, and that was her first of 2 on the day. And here's her second one. This is late in regulation. Actually, we're down 3-2. The ball gets played in and bounces towards Sally, and she just seals off the defender and is able to finish. This next goal is at Bob Jones University in 2015. And this is a situation, I think we were still deadlocked at 0-0, but she receives the ball, is able to do a quick little turn at the top of the D and finish past the goalkeeper. And we wound up winning that game 2-1. So these next couple of goals come at Columbia College in 2016, and this is a long distance shot. You can see her putting a move on and then just putting the ball over the keeper's head, scraping the bottom of the crossbar and going in. And then her second one, we're battling for the ball down on this end and putting a lot of pressure on, and won that ball in the air, and then Jessica Torres is chasing this one ball down and gets to it, knocks the ball back to Sabria. And then she plays it beyond the keeper, and then Sally retrieves the ball, and then she has a defender on her, but she makes a move here and then cuts it back, and then is able to beat the keeper to the back post. This next goal is at Union, and you can see Sabria winning the ball here, getting it, playing Sally wide, and Sally chipping the keeper and putting it in over her, and this tied the game up. And then this next goal is at Georgia Gwinnett, and this was a really big goal for Sally. She receives the ball from Aaron. You see her put a couple moves on and be well beyond the top of the D. She's able to put it past a really good goalkeeper. And the last goal we're going to take a look at happened in what would have been Sally's final year, or final season, final game of her career. It was in the quarterfinals of the AAC. We were hosting Bryan College. You see Natalie Villalobos playing that ball up, Taylor Beasley getting behind it, and then playing it back. Sally then gets 2 really nice moves, and then is able to beat arguably the best keeper that our conference has ever had, in that Bryan goalkeeper. And this did tie the game up. We did go to overtime. We did go to penalties. It didn't turn out the way we wanted. So this wound up being Sally Ruiz's 35th and final goal as a Skyhawk. So really good career for Sally, and some really nice goals on here as well. And again, 35 goals scored, puts her in number 2 all time. And we're going to be hearing from one of her former teammates at this time.
Hi, I'm Maddie, former teammate and roommate of Sally Ruiz. When Coach approached me and asked me to record a video about Sally, I started thinking of adjectives that I just thought described her as a teammate best, and the adjectives that came to mind were adaptable, hardworking, and resilient. Sally was an all-around, well-rounded, very talented soccer player, and she knew the game of soccer very well. Therefore, she was very strong and confident with the ball at her feet. In my years of playing soccer with Sally, the team heavily relied on her to score goals for us. And as a team, we knew in defense, if we could get our job done without the other team scoring on us, then Sally would eventually put one away for us. Most games took several shots, but in the games that were a little tougher to score, she took fewer shots, but she made those shots count every single time. She had lots of power behind the ball and speed. I never wanted to be on the receiving end of her shots or be in the way of her shots because they were coming at you very hard. She would rip a shot from anywhere in the back third of the other team, and the other teams learned that very quickly, and eventually she was man-marked some matches the entire game. That didn't stop Sally, though. She found a way to quickly adapt and overcome that, and she constantly was moving out there and putting herself in a place to receive a good ball and get the ball, and very talented with the ball at her feet, and she would find a way to score. When her years of eligibility came to an end, we knew she was going to be very hard to replace. She was very significant, very valuable to our team, and she played a huge role for us. And we knew that it was going to be tough when we lost her. The new people coming in had big roles to fill, big shoes to fill, and that just goes to show you how significant she was to our program. Outside of that, Sally was very silly. She was a very good friend. She had a contagious laugh that would make anyone around you laugh. But when she stepped on the soccer field, she was serious. She meant business, whether it was practice or a game, and also in the weight room. She put in her hours of hard work, and her talent proved that. And I was very fortunate to be able to play with Sally.
Thank you, Maddie, for those kind words about Sully, and I can echo all those. Sully was a force for us, and she was recruited by Wendy Espahel, my former assistant coach that helped me out in 2013 and 14. But she told me about a player, sent me a little bit of video on her, and then I was able to watch it, and I'm like, yeah, that girl I think can help us. And then we had a great recruiting class in 2014, probably one of the best ever. But when she came in, I mean, there was a difference. I mean, this girl signed a D1 scholarship in California, and then didn't attend there, but then went to one of the premier California junior colleges, always in the top 5, and then had a good season started for them and played well. And then she sought us out, and we brought her in, and immediately had an impact. I can tell you that our first year we didn't really talk a lot to each other. I felt like I had a guest player on the team, and I've told her that before. But our relationship got a little closer the next year, and then of course in 2016, there were some challenges that I gave to her. That she was the best player in our league and needed to start playing like it all the time, and she responded with a really great season. And Maddie was right. When we needed a goal, she got us a goal. And it was really interesting to see how teams would try to defend her legally and illegally. I look back at that Bryan game that we got knocked out on penalty kicks. And there was a sequence in the second half after the game was tied at 1, where she got the ball, split 2 defenders, and got inside the box. And one girl grabbed her jersey and was pulling her back in the box, and there was a no call. And I was livid, of course, because the AR would have seen it if I saw it, and the center official should have seen it, but they let it go. And I have a feeling that had we been given that call, things would have been different. But anyway, we went to penalties and had to face a really good goalkeeper. And you know what? Natalie Brown made a nice save for us in penalty kicks. And we didn't make it. But when you get to that point, it's not about skill level as much as it is, just kind of being lucky. And we just weren't lucky that day. Didn't diminish what kind of season we had, or definitely didn't diminish what kind of season Sally had, her career. It was really sad when it was over for her and for everybody else that season. But we do appreciate what Sally brought to the program. And, it was my honor to kind of do this video and feature her as the number 2 all-time leading scorer in Point University history. So next week, guess what? We're down to number 1, and got a treat for you. Probably not going to have a lot of video just because of just circumstances surrounding when this player played, but we do have some. So we may do some extra items other than video to help provide you and reveal to you who the #1 all-time leading scorer is in Point University / ACC history. But for now, have a good week. We'll see you next week.